Welcome to today's episode of Wellness Wednesday. I'm Dr. Katherine Y. Brown, your host. You are in for a treat today. Our guest is Senator Brenda Gilmore. Now, she has been a trailblazer in our community for so many years. So as we approach our 50th episode, we had to feature her. So welcome, Senator Gilmore.
Thank you. Dr. Brown, it's an honor to be here to do anything with you. You're the trailblazer in this community.
Oh, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us, for our viewers around the world, because our audience is very large, just a little about your background, because you've done so many different things.
Well, I've had the honor of serving this city and the state of Tennessee for almost 30 years. First, as an executive committee woman. I think you were an executive committee woman as well.
Yes, I was.
Then as Metro Council for the city of Nashville. I enjoyed being a public servant so much that because of term limits, after 8 years, I ran for the state house, and the good people in North Nashville and Bordeaux elected me to be their state representative, where I served for 12 years. And then an icon in our community, Senator Thelma Harper, decided to retire after decades and decades. And I ran for her position. Big shoes to fill. And she was also known for wearing famous hats, big hats to fill. But I hope that I've made a positive difference in this community over the years.
Absolutely. We all know you and love about you, and I want our viewers to know is that you, I feel, kept your promises, but you were always accessible to the people. And that, to me, just speaks volumes to character. So you're welcome. Thank you. So let's pivot to the pandemic. Mm-hmm. What was your role? What type of things did you do? And see, I just want to hear about it from your lens.
Okay, well, in Nashville, we had what I call the trifecta. We had a tornado that hit our city. We had a flood, we had pandemic. And then in the midst of that was the killing of Mr. George Floyd. And so it was just layer on layer of issues that were occurring in our community. And so I tried to be a great role model during the student protests and the community protests. I always wore my mask. I even wore a shield. I encouraged young people and everyone that I came in contact with to wear their shield as well. Try to practice social distances as much as we can, and still maintain some sense of normalcy. I participated in all the protests, in all the marches, but at the same time, I tried to be as safe as I could. Some of the other things that we've done in the community was collaborating with Urban League and with the NAACP and the Tennessee Black Caucus of State Legislators in putting on webinars and town hall meetings, virtual town hall meetings and workshops concerning COVID and its impact on our community. In fact, Dr. Hill was the keynote speaker in many of those webinars that we had.
I love it. Now, I just interviewed Miss Barbara James, and I did not know that you were part of the movement for Vaccine for All. So you have to tell me about that, because I didn't know that. So tell me about that movement.
Yes, it was Barbara James came to me and says, I'm concerned that the city is getting vaccinated, but some of those hard to reach areas, such as our housing developments, some of our senior citizen facilities, my fear is that they're just not receiving equal access to the vaccination. And I said, that is a great idea. So we coined this grassroots effort, Vaccine for All. She, in fact, has gotten it to be a nonprofit. And we pulled in Mike Green, who's the director of the housing development, and just asked people to come and help us. We went into Hispanic communities. We've gone to, again, the housing developments. Anytime there was a health fair or something going on in the community, we took the vaccines to them. We used docs from Meharry and Vanderbilt to assist with administering the vaccines and the vaccinations.
I love that. And you know what? You never told me. So I was like, it's a secret.
No, absolutely.
You were part
not.
of the movement.
Like you, I just get my head down and work and forget to share some of the things that I'm involved with, but just doing the work. Mm-hmm.
So, okay, now we are, we're still dealing with things, but what does the future look like for you? What, in terms of serving community amidst the pandemic? So when we think about COVID, what does that look like? Because you do so many different things. I'm just curious, when we think about community and COVID, what does the future look like?
Well, I think that we have to continue to educate the community and make them aware that this pandemic is not over. In fact, I heard on news the other day that it's a tridemic now because of the flu seasons. So everywhere I go, I just try to continue to go about my normal life, to be out in the community, but at the same time to practice safe protocols. Remembering to wash your hands as often as you can. And when you can, practice social distances. If you go into an environment where you're not familiar with the people, still wear your mask. In fact, I traveled last week to the Congressional Black Caucus in DC, and I wore my mask in the airport and on the airplane. Once I got in an environment where I felt comfortable, I took my mask off. So I think we just have to be always aware of our settings and who's involved, who we're interacting with. Yes.
What do you feel was your, I guess, it's hard to say most memorable accomplishment because you did so many things. I mean, there was legislation, but as you reflect back over that time, what's the one thing that you feel like it was your greatest accomplishment where you're like, yes, that was a win for the team?
Oh, well, I did a lot in criminal justice reform, and I really am proud of that. Probably the two biggest legislation that I'm proud of, one was ban the box. When inmates who have been formerly incarcerated come back into the community, they have felonies. And so I passed legislation, was the primary sponsor, saying that when you go into an interview, that the employer cannot ask you, have you have a previous criminal record until they're serious about hiring you. And that gives the applicant an opportunity to sell themselves. The other piece of criminal justice reform that I was particularly proud of was called alternative sentencing. And this is when parents are the primary caregivers of their children, because we know statistically, if parents are incarcerated and in prison, then it's highly likelihood that their children will also go to prison. So this legislation was intended to break that cycle, and it gave the judge the latitude to say, okay, you messed up, but I'm not going to send you to prison. I'm going to send you back to school to get your high school diploma, or I'm going to send you somewhere if you have an addiction to get help, or I'm going to send you to parenting school. It gave about 20 different alternative sentencings that judges can give. And I think that helps our community in a number of ways. One is it's very expensive. It's about $40,000 a year to send someone for prison. What we could do with that if we use it in our school system, right? And the other, it keeps the dad and the mom in the family, because we know that a whole family improves the community in so many ways. But I think my greatest accomplishment is something that you said initially. I feel like that I tried to be helpful and make a difference in people's everyday life. It may be something as simpler as getting their child in a good school, or it may be finding housing for a homeless person. It may be taking someone to vote or getting them registered to vote who's never voted in their life. Those are the things I feel, the things that will not hit the front page in the newspaper and will probably never go down in history. But I feel, as you articulated very well, that I try to be accessible to my community and make a positive difference everywhere to leave it better than what I found it.
Absolutely. And you definitely did that, and you continue to do it. So is there anything that you want to share with our viewers that I have not asked you? Anything you have coming up? Just, it's all about you. The floor is yours.
Well, I would just encourage your listening viewers to continually to be engaged in the community themselves, to take responsibility. Elected officials can't do it all. We need everyone's help. If you're not registered to vote, register. If you are, make sure you go out and vote for those people who have community minded and share your values. And remember to take care of yourselves. We give so much sometimes that we fail to take care of ourselves. Invest in healthy living, enjoying relaxation, getting your exercise, and if you're on meds, take your meds.
I love it. You all have heard it first from Senator Brenda Gilmore, who is a trailblazer in our community, but who is also encouraging us to live healthy, take care of ourselves, and continue to wear masks when needed, wash our hands, and follow the guidelines. And so I just want to say thank you again for your service, and for our viewers around the world. I want you to like this message, share this message. Other people need to hear what Senator Brenda Gilmore has just shared with us on Wellness Wednesday. So until next time, stay healthy, and I will see you soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thanks for this opportunity.